Hey folks, what a view behind me. I'm at Blackbull Markets headquarters here in Auckland, New Zealand. Speaking of views, you can get TradingView paid plans for free at Blackbull Markets, saving you up to $600 a year. Get either the Essential Plus or Premium plans absolutely free. All you need to do is trade from one lot a month at Blackbull Markets. And you can also get a 100% deposit bonus for your first deposit up to $1,000. All you need to do is click the Trading Nut link in the description below. Our sponsor Blue Guardian's the only prop firm that gives their traders a tool to protect them from hitting their max daily loss and over trading. It's super simple to use. Just set the Guardian Protector each day from your dashboard. Did you also know that they've just released an unlimited time evaluation with a 0 trading days requirement, giving you plenty of time to hit their low 8 and 4% targets, making it super fast to get funded. Plus, it's cheaper than the 40-day time limit evaluation. Check out the link and coupon in the description to get 10% off your next Blue Guardian evaluation.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How's it going? Brinks Trades coming to you live with another week of breakdowns. How's everybody doing? I know I'm going a little bit earlier than usual today, but just wanted to make sure that I could knock out these breakdowns for everybody as efficiently and as quickly as possible. Because I got some stuff going on later on today. So give it some time. Where's everybody tuning in from? Let's go ahead and do that again. Where's everybody at? Who's all in here? It's 20 people online. Usually we get like 30, 40. So let's how many people are watching today and where are you guys coming in from? Nobody? Okay, cool. Nobody. We'll give it a couple minutes, let some more people hop on and just let that, I usually try to give it 3 to 5 minutes, just because I know people see the notification. They don't always log in online. So, okay. The comments refreshed. Boom. Okay. So Nigeria, that's what's up, man. What part of Nigeria are you living in? The Bahamas, Ohio. What up, though, Detroit? I'm also Michigan. So that's what's up as well. South Africa. Okay. A lot of people from South Africa this morning, or from Africa in general. Now, what time is it over there? What's in Nigeria or South Africa? What time is it over there? Salford. I have no idea where Salford is at. So where's Salford at? Is that a city? Is that a state? I'm sorry. I have no idea where that's at. I missed Ohio. Sorry, it's the Michigan in me. I missed Ohio. Lithuania. Okay, this is all over the place, man. Kenya. This is crazy. Sometimes you don't really realize where people are tuning in from, but day trading in general is a global, obviously a global activity, right? Forex is a global thing, and so sometimes we live in the United States and we're so US focused sometimes that we don't realize how many people are trading. But I know South Africa has a huge day trading community. I've seen, a bunch of traders come from over there and really do well. And just gotta have, really big, crazy presences online. So South Africa, that's crazy. It's 2:16 in Nigeria. Okay. Okay. Wow, it's crazy. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into it. It's a lot of people from all over the world that are tuning in. So I appreciate you guys rocking with me and coming here week in and week out to get these breakdowns. So let's go ahead and break into it. And again, if you guys don't know me or if this is your first time watching, Brinks Trades, I've been trading for about 10 years. 2014, 2015 is when I first really started day trading. I started in the Forex space. I still trade a decent amount of Forex, I still look at a decent amount of Forex charts. I don't really personally trade them anymore. Kind of graduated more to indices and futures. I do love the Forex market, though. I'll say that was like my first love. And to be honest, I think the Forex markets are slightly easier to trade. And, when you have markets that are easier to trade or easier to understand, it makes it a lot easier as a trader, right? Everything doesn't need to be a challenge week in and week out. Sometimes if you can find the market that really works for you and you understand it, you just stack up, positions or, and increase your lot sizes instead of trying to find the thing that's going to be the fastest moving or trading. Um, like that you might not understand, or it's a little bit more difficult to trade. So, work on your edge. But yeah, so I started out there, and so I'm obviously the resident indice analyst for Trading That Podcast. I want to shout him out for letting me come on and do this week in and week out. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Bene. Oh, sorry, I'm going through these comments. Okay, Hugo said New Jersey's in the house. Hugo, I was just talking to you earlier. He's an upcoming mentorship student of mine, so that's going to be really cool to see him progress over the next few months to years with this. Okay, so Nigeria, he said that the trading is crazy in Nigeria. What part of Nigeria are you from, man? This is interesting to me. I know it's like, again, it's a global thing, and I guess, what are you guys trading out there? Is it mostly forex pairs? Is it mostly indices? Like, what's the vibe, I guess, in terms of like what you guys trade out there? And then Bene says, commented from the East, where coming from the East Coast. I'm actually in the Midwest, man. I'm in Michigan. So that's where I'm based at. So not too far from Detroit. Let's see. So yeah, we'll keep that conversation going, but let's go ahead and get into the charts too. So let me get this pulled up. And again, as usual, you guys, you can throw in comments anytime, or we can keep this, as informal as possible. Keep it as like a conversation. So I'm cool with that. Oops. Why did that not work? Okay. Cool. Y'all should be able to see my screen. So, okay. So let's go ahead and break it down. Right now, like I said, I'm just going to touch on the indices. But if we have some time at the end of this, I might look at some forex pairs depending on what people want to see. Okay, so again, the reason that I do this, and again, if you're new here, the reason I always start with dollar is because dollar is king, right? Dollar controls every market, and every market, most of the markets are based on a dollar, backed by the dollar. So if we understand what the dollar is going to do, we can get a really great understanding of what our indices do. Typically, traditionally, indices should have an inverse relationship with stocks, or with the dollar. So if dollar's going up, indices should go down. Now, there's some times where these things are going to not correlate. So if that happens, it kind of lets us know there's a couple things that may be trying to play out in the market. So overall, if we get a better understanding of dollar, we should be able to get a better understanding of the market. And so coming into last week, we had a few things we wanted to see with our dollar analysis that ultimately did not play out. And that's going to happen, right? Sometimes you're going to be slightly off with your analysis. And so coming into last week and the last few weeks, just looking at a weekly time frame, what I wanted to see was price really respect this weekly imbalance here, this weekly fair value gap, and continue to trade lower. And that's obviously not what we got last week. And so when price failed to respect this weekly imbalance here, that's sitting at 103.53 and 103.29 between these two levels, it lets us know that, again, price is going to be strongly bullish, and it gets us really start thinking about where the next level is that we should be looking for price to trade to. And so we look at the daily time frame, same thing. So initially this week looked good when price traded into this initial fair value gap. Everything was kind of still flowing according to schedule. And Thursday and Friday with the FOMC, I guess the aftermath of FOMC kind of shook everything up. And so again, what I want to see here going into next week is we could be in the verge of changing our bias. And so this is a pretty key level for me that didn't get respected. And so what I want to see here is price continue on and go higher. And I'm going to be looking at this level here as an area the price is reaching to. Again, this imbalance here was pretty much completely mitigated. So I want to see price continue on and see how it reacts to these levels. But ultimately, I'll be looking here with note of this imbalance again here sitting at 104.41 is going to be like the level that I'm going to be looking to see if it gets respected. it was perfectly respected last time, and we not only respected this imbalance, but we also closed under this previous high, which led us to the idea that the market was going to continue to go down. So I really just want to see how price is going to react in this level. Ultimately, I can't call a long-term bias at this point. So you have to kind of sit back and see what's going to happen in the markets before you can really kind of look at a long-term trend. But if I'm just looking for areas where there's liquidity, I'm going to be looking at this high. I'm going to be looking, to see how price respects the level of this consequent encroachment. And if it does, then we could continue on potentially going bearish. But as of right now, price is kind of sitting at an equilibrium level. Again, this is high level theory here, but we kind of have to look at short-term areas where we think price could run to. And so this high for sure, but really want to see jumping down to the 4-hour time frame, just this high here, and then looking to see how price respects this level here is going to be something that I'm going to be looking for over the next few days, over the next week. So again, the consequent encroachment at this level at 104.42, and then 104.85. So that's what I'm gonna be looking for. And so what I'll do here is I'll make a note that says, okay, cool, dollar did not obey the bias that we had, and so we're in the short term, price is kind of sitting around an equilibrium level. When price trades near equilibrium, you don't really necessarily want to call long-term bias. You just want to see where the areas that price could potentially run to. And so I'm looking at this high, this level, and then to see how price reacts when it takes out this high here that we had marked at 104.21. So, so long story short, I guess I don't have a bias on dollar, but just want to get a better understanding of the price action here, which we'll probably have going into Monday or Tuesday. So in the Telegram, shameless plug for the Telegram, you guys might see an update about what that's going on. And so with that in mind, if we don't have a bias on dollar, we're really going to have to be very, very careful on what we're calling out on NASDAQ, because we have one less confirmation that we can run with this week. So hopping back to the comments really quickly. Montez says, I only focus on gold. Okay, so I don't really trade gold a lot. It's a currency that's very event driven. And so there's not, I personally don't trade it as much, but I know a lot of people do. To be honest, I think people trade it way more than they probably should, but that's just my kind of like thoughts. US30. So Scott says US30. So US30 is going to be basically the same thing as Dow Jones. So we'll talk about that later. Let me see. So yeah, again, you guys got questions, comments, just shouts out, just keep throwing them in there. All right, hopping back into the charts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use for when it comes to trading NASDAQ, right now I've transitioned. And so there's rollover months when you look at these indices. And so, and I'll also pull up NAS100. So when you're trading the US version of these are going to be the E-mini NASDAQ futures. And so these are going to be obviously contract months where things roll over, right? So NQ is going to have, 4 main contract months where things roll over. The next contract expiration is going to be June. So basically at the end of each quarter. And so I use these because it just gives me a very, very detailed understanding of where the volume is. And so with all of these different NASDAQ ones, technically they're different charts, so they're going to have different volumes. So the numbers might be slightly different, but overall you'll see like NASDAQ is pretty much the same thing as NAS100. For my international people, NAS100 is what you're going to be trading. So you can see it's pretty much the same thing again, but there's just slightly different numbers. So if we bounce here, again, we wanted to see, just kind of zooming in, coming into last week, we wanted to see price dig a little bit deeper, ultimately, before it took out the high of last week. So ultimately, we didn't get that. And so I was talking to my students over the week in the chat, in our mentorship chat, and we this is kind of a masterclass in what happens when your bias is right, but the level doesn't necessarily trade to the level that you wanted to see happen. And so we zoom in closer. just on price action. With this, obviously the daily chart, we saw price respected this level. Price respected a few levels. This overall respected this imbalance, this fair value gap. It also respected the consequent encroachment of this level pretty much perfectly. If I move this, that note, and then just kind of make this a little bit bigger so you can see. Oops. Boom. You see price really respected that level to the T. And there's a reason for that. And again, my students kind of understand why those things happen repeatedly over and over again. And so again, this is a great week when it was a great example of a week when your bias is right, but you don't quite get the level that you want to see. How do you trade these, and how do you kind of stick with that? And that's one of the reasons that I don't trade against the trend, because again, when I trade, I plot out the points. And trading, when you take counter trend trades, or try not to trade against the trend. That's a lie. I sometimes I do take positions against the trend, and that's not even. But I try not to. Sometimes the emotional factors do get a hold of me still. But when you're trading, on the charts, your pullback levels might not always be 100% accurate, but your overall bias might be, right? And so you can see that we ended up taking out the high, which was our target for last week, but we didn't quite get this. And so, when I'm trading, and I break these down to like my smaller time frames when I'm actually entering in positions. But when I'm trading, I only, I try to do my best to only really look for setups that are buy setups. And so it is kind of when we see price respecting a certain level that might not be to our actual target, and it gives us our lower time frame confirmations as far as like the price is going to be bullish. You should be looking for to trade in line with that. And sometimes if you trade against the trend, if it doesn't go to your overall level, you can set yourself up to get, take unnecessary L's this week or any week. So that's exactly what we got. So again, coming into, I just want to switch really quickly to see what's going on here on NAS100. So it's pretty much the same thing. I want to see price. Go to the 4 hour, 1 hour. Best case scenario for this week. I want to see price trade to this level here. I don't know what that is in the 4 hour. This is the best case scenario. It might not come this deep because it's already traded back down into our overall imbalance here. So ideally what I want to see here is price do something like this coming into next week and really looking to take out the high. We don't, since we are very close to the high of last week, I wouldn't be surprised if we took out this high first and then dug deeper. And so really we just kind of need more market sentiment just to kind of get a better understanding of where we're going to be at. But ideally, I would love to see price really trade into these two levels I'll be looking at. A price response to this low here at 18,496, and then this low or this level here at 18,391. So seeing how price trades into these areas to eventually continue to look to go higher. So I'm bullish overall still. Again, this is one of those things where NASDAQ is an investment vehicle, right? So if you take a step back and you understand what the purpose of NASDAQ is, it's an investment vehicle. It's supposed to go higher week in and week out, right? And so it's supposed to make new highs over time. And so I know a lot of people's psychologies are getting messed up because they're coming from a Forex world where if you look at any Forex chart, right, it's the point of it is to range. You can't have a currency go too high or too low because it devalues, one of the other currencies in the pair. So there's this relationship where price kind of trades within ranges and it bounces back and forth between highs and lows. NASDAQ is a different animal, right? It's supposed to make new highs over time, right? Because if you think about people are throwing their investments in here, their 401ks, and historically the NASDAQ and all these other markets rise, right? Over 10, 20, 30, 40, 100-year periods, right? So with that being said, you should be expecting this to rise. And I know a lot of people's psychology gets thrown off because they want to see some type of correction happen over and over again. And it will correct. I'm sure the market will correct at some point this year. And I actually will prefer it correcting because it gives us targets to hit on the downside. But as of right now, you can't really trade against that. You should pretty much be holding a strong bullish bias. And at this point, you should just be looking to see where the bias is going to be at. Yeah, so let me stop and see if there's any questions. Looking at if you're having problems trading the ICT, I suggest for you to mix support and resistance and mix market structure with the breakback below. Yeah, somewhat. I mean, somewhat. I mean, I agree with that to a certain extent. I mean, the problem with like support and resistance is that I mean it's kind of you're kind of right there. Obstacle. Um yeah, I mean there's definitely a transition period when you start trading like smart money concepts and start looking at like different um different like points of view from like a traditional retail trader. It kind of helps, but you kind of need to know in order to understand how the market really truly books price, you kind of need to understand um what retail traders think. And so you'll kind of start to see like where, the volume is in the market. But um story for another day. So I kind of agree with you there. I think having eyeing the market through a traditional lens, retailer lens will let you know how the market where the money is in the market and how traditional traders think about price, and it kind of lets you know where the market's going to move, right? So this is a big game, man. It's a big game. This whole thing is rigged, and that's why I can consistently call out these levels over and over again, because I understand how the market really delivers stuff. So anyway, so I'm gonna go to ES. I'm actually gonna go to ESM 2024. So this is gonna be a new chart. I keep saying that I'm gonna do this. Yep, there we go. So this is the June expiration date for the S&P. And obviously, clearly it's a fresh chart, so we don't have anything drawn up. But if I go to last week's chart, just to kind of show you again what we wanted to see is we wanted to see as I get rid of some of this stuff. Again, sorry, I trade these charts live. So what we wanted to see here is we wanted to see price really come back to this level here and take out the high. We didn't quite get that. And partially that this could be because the volume on this chart could be lower. And as I go to the March expiration date chart, it might be a little different here. PSHCHM. Yeah. So this is another reason why we roll over the charts towards the end of the month or the end of the quarter, the end of the expiration, is because there's going to be more volume on the chart, on the new chart, than the old chart, as more traders trying to transition. And so if you look at this chart versus here, or even on the micros, this is the micro one. It didn't quite take out the high. There wasn't as much volume there, and that's because more traders are transitioning to the new chart. So you always want to make sure towards that last week of the contract, or the last couple weeks of that contract expiration, you want to just roll over to the new chart. So yeah, so if I bounce back to where I was at, QH, QM, So we did take out the high, and this will be the chart that I'm running with for the next, 3 or 4 months. So it should say ESM 2024. So we did take out the high here. Again, so what I want to see here is price continue to do this. And I'll be looking for price to really trade back into this joint, this imbalance here, and then continue to go higher. So I'll be looking at a couple levels there, and then there's also a volume imbalance here that I'll be looking to trade. Looking to see how price respects, which is currently respecting there. What's my template? So I want to see how price reacts. It's from this level, but then also how if it continues to respect. So those are the two levels that I'll be looking at least on the daily time frame. Breaking this down a little bit more. Again, I think kind of coming in back into that zone is something I want to see happen. Same thing here. Yeah. So yeah. So 5,240 is the kind of the low end that I'd like to see price respect. So I want to see how price comes back into this zone here from 5,292 to 5,244, and continue to look to go higher, push higher. Yeah. So I think that's all I want to see for there. Let me go back to the questions. Nothing there. And then let me bounce to Dow Jones. So Dow Jones is going to be your US30 equivalent for my international traders. So obviously US30. Again, I think last week I wanted to see price. I wanted to see price dig a little bit deeper. We didn't get that, which is cool, but our overall target was hit on US30. So, and then if I jump to the Dow Jones, which is obviously the US equivalent, same thing, right? So we saw this price getting taken out. There, our weekly target was smashed. So if you guys are US30 traders and you're looking at my analysis, you probably had a good week. So again, I want to see price. There's a couple levels that I want to see price respect. There. Blue. So I want to see how price respects this level here. Breaking it down to the 4-hour time frame. It's just one of these things where I know it messes with everybody's psychology, but it's essentially, dip buying, which is, it's not as fun. You can't really show your skills off as a trader. And this is just kind of just buy, pull back, right? But so again, I want to see how price respects this level here. I think we could get a deeper retracement into this blue zone right here. But ideally, I want to see how price reacts. Yeah, to the top half of this blue zone here. So would love to see something like this over time, and really kind of touching back to that 39,666 level on the Dow Jones. And so whatever the US30 equivalent of this would be, right? So same thing to this level here. At 39,240. So it's about the same level, just slightly different. Whoops. So yeah, I think that's about it. This is going to be my new weekly target. And so I'm going to be looking to take price to that level. and go from there. So again, I want to see price really trade. And let me do one more thing just to kind of make this. Yeah, I want to see how price respects this level here, and continue to go higher. So um, yeah, that's all I got for you guys. If you guys have any questions at all, I know it's like 46 people on here. Um, again, if you guys are interested, I have my Telegram, which is it sounds like, maybe there's a few people already in there that are in there, but spread the word. Basically, I keep doing my free analysis in that chat. And I'll drop the link right here so you guys can check that out. And there's that. So please, join the Telegram. If you guys aren't in the Telegram already, you're missing out as far as, just additional thought processes. I do updated analysis because a lot of times, like looking at last week, things change on here, right? Like the markets change. So the midweek analysis might be different than what we're doing on a Saturday, right? Because the markets haven't reacted. Anything can happen on a given week. So stay locked in with me there. Again, my mentorship, I'm closing the doors. I think I closed the doors last night on my mentorship. But if there's anybody that's still interested, that's going to start next week, please reach out to me if you are interested in that as well. It's kind of like the last call for that. So I have a few people that are interested that signed up to learn from me directly, just how I approach the markets and how I can take this, all 10 years of market knowledge and everything and really just translate it to the next group of students. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to kind of see everybody's journey over the next few months, next few weeks, or next few months, next year of where they're at in their trading journey. My last mentorship was in August, so it's really been cool to watch how everybody's progressed since August. I have some people that I think are going to be really good traders over the next few years. So it's going to be fun to watch. So I'll stay on for any questions, but that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and yeah, hopefully you found some value in here. If you did, please thumbs up the chat. Drop as many comments as possible. When this post and the live is done, come back here and drop more comments. And yeah, we'll catch you next week. No problem, Hugo. No problem. Oh, and then I guess if you guys want me to look at any Forex ones, I can do that. I got some time today. So if you want me to look at any Forex pairs, I can do that too. I think some of our analysis might have shifted from the last time I did a Forex one too, and that's 3 weeks. Again, I do the markups for them, but I don't actively trade those markets. So I don't pay as much attention to them. I only really look at them when I do these. So. And then also, if you have any questions or just general trading advice that you want or that type of thing, I'm also cool with that as well. So just, don't be shy. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end the call. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop in the Telegram. Let me know if you're still interested in the mentorship. Let me know as well, and we can get you signed up last minute. But yeah, hopefully you guys found value, and I will catch you guys next week.